You're listening to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. The show that gives pastors and church leaders the clarity they need to protect their people, property, and ministry.
Welcome back to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. I'm your host, Ron Wadley with Insurance for Texans. We help church leaders protect their people and property with wisdom and clarity. Today, we are breaking down how to build a truly comprehensive insurance plan for your church so you can stop guessing and start leading with confidence. In the quiet moments right before a Sunday service begins, most church leaders are not thinking about litigation, policy exclusions, or rising insurance premiums. Their minds are exactly where they should be, on the sermon, the first-time visitors walking through the lobby, and the community gathering in the sanctuary. That sacred rhythm is the heartbeat of churches all across Texas. But behind those moments of worship sits a heavy responsibility that never fully disappears. As a church leader, you are also a steward of your church's people, finances, buildings, and long-term stability. You carry the weight of protecting the physical ground your mission stands on, even while focusing on the spiritual work happening inside it. And this is exactly where many churches unknowingly drift into dangerous territory. To show you what I mean, let me tell you about a small church tucked into the piney woods of rural East Texas. This small, faithful congregation tried to stretch every single dollar. Their annual operating budget hovered right around $12,000. Every single financial decision carried massive weight. To help serve their community and bring in a little extra income, the board allowed a trusted ministry leader named Sarah to operate a weekday preschool out of their detached fellowship hall. On the surface, it was a perfect arrangement. Local families got affordable childcare. The church got help with utility bills. And since Sarah was family, nobody questioned the risks. But the board made what I call a fatal assumption. Because Sarah had her own business insurance for the preschool, the church board assumed the church was covered. As a result, they didn't buy their own liability policy. They viewed her coverage as good enough. In reality, the preschool was a tenant and the church was the landlord. And unless the church was explicitly named on that tenant's policy as an additional insured and carried their own standalone church policy, they were operating without a safety net. Then the perfect storm hit. Sarah decided to retire, and during the chaotic process of dissolving her business, she inadvertently let her preschool insurance policy lapse. There was an 18-day window where absolutely no coverage existed. During those exact 18 days, a student on the playground fell and struck their head on a metal equipment frame, requiring emergency medical care and stitches. Because Sarah's policy had lapsed, there was no insurance company to step in. The parents, facing massive medical bills, were forced to file a lawsuit. It named the school, Sarah, the pastor, and the church board to simply hire a defense attorney to answer that initial legal summons. Heritage Community Chapel had to pay a $5,000 retainer out of pocket. In one single afternoon, nearly 50% of their entire annual operating budget vanished. And because they had an active lawsuit on their record, no reputable insurance company would touch them. Their very existence was at stake, all because of an assumption. A truly comprehensive plan leaves no room for assumptions. It is a coordinated strategy that weaves together property insurance to protect the physical bricks and mortar, general liability to shield against everyday slips and falls, and directors and officers coverage to protect the personal assets of your volunteer board members. It means having pastoral liability to defend your pastors and an umbrella policy to provide an extra layer of financial protection when a lawsuit threatens to exceed your baseline limits. We call this process the promise of certainty. It means mapping out where you are now, looking at where you're headed as a ministry, and engineering exactly what you need to bridge the gap safely. When you do the hard work of building that firewall, your insurance becomes beautifully boring and your mission stays secure. The most expensive insurance policy you will ever buy is the one that doesn't pay when you have a claim. Don't wait to be served with a lawsuit to find out if your protection is real. Connect with our True Texas church insurance specialists today at insurancefortexans.com. Let's review your ministry's operations and build a plan that stands firm. And to get the full blueprint on how to protect your church's legacy, download a free copy of our book, The Promise of Certainty, at thepromiseofcertainty.com. I'm Ron Wadley, and this has been Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. Until next time, remember, your church's mission is too important to leave to chance.
Thanks for listening to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance. Until next time, remember, insurance isn't just about policies. It's about safeguarding the mission God has called you to lead.